Hi, David.
Hi, Rogerio.
How are you?
Okay, you're good. I can hear you. I can see you, and your logo is correct. So we'll see you in a bit.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, David.
Are you all better?
Yes, I'm much better.
Oh, good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. I can hear you. I can see you. Your logo is good. So you're good to go.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a bit.
Thanks.
Hi, David.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you. Your logo is good, so you're good to go.
At first, I was having problems. I had to restart my computer.
Okay, so yeah, that's why I like you all to check in just a little bit early, just in case. So, but right now you're all good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hi, Isaac.
Hi, David. Did I get it right? Is my logo
You did.
correct?
You did.
Wonderful.
You got it right. You're all
Okay.
good. Okay.
Cool.
Hello, Marquita.
Hello, you can hear
Okay,
me?
there you go. Yes, I can hear you. I can see you. Your logo is great, and you're good to go.
Thank you so much.
See you in just a bit. Test. This is an audio test. Testing.
Hi, David. Can you see me?
Can see you, John.
Hi, John. I can see you, I can hear you, and your logo is good. Hi, Tushar.
Hey, David, how's it going?
Good. Okay, you're good. I can hear you, see you, and your logo is great.
Great, thank you.
Okay, see you in just a minute.
Good evening, David.
Good evening, Chair. It is 6:30, so if we can get all the commissioners on screen only, and we can start when you're ready, Chair.
Missing, there he is. Commissioner Caballero. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 smiling faces. Very good. With that, I will call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the West Hollywood Planning Commission. It is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. Please pause the green beer until after the meeting. It is 6:31 p.m. And could I ask our acting city attorney, Mr. Rosen, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure, Chair. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. David, would you please call the roll? Oh, excuse me, I got to do my song and dance.
Thank you.
Okay, in an effort to protect public health and prevent the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus, AB 361 has authorized public meetings to take place via teleconference because state and local officials are recommending measures to promote social distancing. This Planning Commission meeting is being conducted via teleconference on the city's website and is also provided on a wide array of streaming media platforms to offer access to the public to the fullest extent possible. WehoTV staff have confirmed that this Planning Commission meeting is currently streaming successfully on Spectrum Channel 10 and online at weho.org/WehoTV. In addition, and as a courtesy, this meeting is also successfully streaming on the city's YouTube channel at youtube.com/WehoTV and on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Android TV. WehoTV staff monitor this broadcast on all platforms throughout the meeting and will notify the Planning Commission secretary should broadcast disruptions arise. Please do not interrupt the live meeting by calling or texting the planning commissioners about difficulties viewing the meeting. In addition, you may call in to listen to this meeting by dialing 669-900-6833. The meeting ID is 894-2595-5316, and then press the pound sign. Please understand that internet speeds, device reliability, third-party platform reliability, and individual or personal technical issues are out of the scope of this broadcast. If you are experiencing viewing difficulties while watching this live stream, please reload the page or visit weho.org/WehoTV to access our official live stream and to view a list of other available streaming options and a guide to troubleshoot your connection. If you continue to experience difficulties, you can also call 323-848-3151. The city of the West Hollywood Planning Commission acknowledges that the land on which we gather and that is currently known as the City of West Hollywood is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and Gabrielino Kits peoples. David, would you please call the roll?
David, you're muted.
David, yeah, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Thomas,
Here.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Here.
Commissioner Gregoire,
Here.
Commissioner Detta,
Here.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Here.
Vice Chair Jones,
Here.
Chair Huppengarner,
Here.
and we have a quorum.
Thank you, David. Before we move to the approval of the agenda, I have some very distressing news to share with our city, and that one of our citizens, Michael Polis, who lives on Greenacre, suffered a massive heart attack yesterday and is in Cedars-Sinai on a ventilator. Inasmuch as he is one of the leaders of that neighborhood, and that neighborhood is one of the R1 neighborhoods subject to the item 10B on our agenda this evening, and in continuity with our actions on 930 Palm, when their neighborhood leader was in the hospital and we continued that meeting. In addition, because per staff, we have no communications from anyone in the third neighborhood, in Las Colinas neighborhood, no communications to staff or letters. We have no clarity as to whether or not those citizens have a clear understanding of what this is about, and if they've read and understood what this item on neighborhoods for R1, R1A and R1C. I am going to recommend that we continue this item to a date uncertain. It is a state law, but there is no urgency. We've got other state laws that we have not implemented. And I think for consistency's sake and for our neighbors' sake, I would recommend that we continue item 10B. Commissioner Thomas.
I would second that if that was a motion.
It was my motion. And for the public's knowledge, item 10A, which is 8920 Sunset Boulevard, the applicant has requested a continuance to a date certain of April 7th, Robin? Jennifer?
Yes, April 7th, the next
April
meeting.
7th. So we have a motion on the table. Well, that's the amendment. The motion is to amend the agenda to continue item 8920 to a date certain of April 7th, and to continue item 10B to a date uncertain. And we have a second from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion?
Chair, just a note, I believe, I think staff can speak to just the reference to the proper noticing, I think, to the neighborhood. just to ensure. I know staff had confirmed that our, at least for published notice and posted notice in line with state law, that has been met. So I just wanted to make a note of that.
I thank you. I wasn't questioning the actual mailing, although I was questioning the actual receipt. Given the volume of letters that we have received from 2 of the 3 neighborhoods, the absence of any communications to staff or in writing to anybody leads me to believe that there is a communications issue. And until we hear actual outreach has been made to that neighborhood, I have concerns, given the gravity of the implications for this to those properties, that we have an issue around communications.
So I would like to interject here. So we can't ever tell whether or not someone opens their mail.
Yes,
We can't tell that. So we have no idea if people open their mail and had no concern. Those, I think it's about 6 lots. They could have all opened the mail, read it, and had absolutely no concern. And so they didn't communicate with us. So you're putting us in an incredibly awkward situation where you're trying to read into the minds of neighborhood residents, and you want us to find out if they've read the letters. We can't do that.
you can outreach to the neighbors in terms of the meeting notices.
And we have. We held a Zoom meeting and we've mailed notices.
I, for one, have consistently not received notices, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I receive mail maybe twice a week now. I do not receive mail on at least 2 to 3 days a week. So this is one of the reasons the mailing of the notice to me is not necessarily congruent with the receipt of the notice. And that's why I was asking, given the gravity of this, that there be specific outreach. It's a small neighborhood. It would be easy to do to the individuals on those properties. Given the complete absence of any correspondence in light of the extreme volume of correspondence we've gotten from the other 2 neighborhoods.
And again, they may not care.
Inconsistent.
They may not care.
Can I make a
Those are
suggestion?
totally
that-
different neighborhoods.
Yes, Vice Chair
I'm
Jones.
just- Thank you. I'm just wondering, I think what I would feel more comfortable with in the way of the motion, and I do want to give staff and legal an opportunity to weigh in if there are factors that we need to consider in continuing these items. I would like to recommend that we change the motion. I know there's one on the floor right now, but I'd like to recommend that we change it so that we, 1, move it to a date certain, it is the state law, and 2, that we make the motion on the basis of Mr. Pohl's heart attack and his inability to be at the meeting, and not include this noticing thing in the motion. I would feel much more comfortable with that.
I'm fine with that amendment to the motion. I just hope the note is made. If the seconder approves the amended motion.
She does.
Okay, thank you. If there's no further discussion, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Thank you, Commissioner Dutta. Do we have a second? I'll second the approval of the agenda. David, would you call the vote?
Chair, can I get confirmation of the date it's being continued to?
Date uncertain.
No, the motion was that we would do it for a date certain, given that it's a state law. If we need to build that into the language, I'm comfortable doing that. I do want to give staff, I believe.
Do we have the ability to do date certain?
That was the motion.
We would need that date certain for purposes of the continuation of the item. So part of the motion would need to be the date certain on
We would
which.
have to have, yes, the date actually in question.
Staff would recommend April 7th, the next meeting.
Okay. All right, then we have, David, that's the amended motion, that both items be continued to April 7th? Okay,
Confirmed.
okay. Then can we call the vote?
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Gregoire,
Yes.
Commissioner Detta,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Hoopengarner.
Yes.
And the agenda is approved as amended, noting items 10A, 8920 Sunset Boulevard, and item 10B regarding the zone text amendment for SB 9 will be continued to a date certain of April 7th, 2022.
Thank you, David. Moving on to item 5, approval of the minutes. Item 5A is the minutes of February 17th, 2022. Are there any corrections? There being none, is there a motion to approve?
I move approval.
Thank you,
I'll second.
Commissioner Gregoire, and second by Vice Chair Jones. David, would you please call the roll?
Thank you. Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Commissioner Detta,
Yes.
Commissioner Gregoire,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Hoopengarner,
Yes.
and the minutes for February 17th, 2022 are approved as presented.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5B, the minutes of the March 3rd, 2022 meeting. Are there any corrections or additions? There being none, is there a motion to approve? Commissioner Carvalero, thank you. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Jones.
Thank you.
Please call the vote.
Commissioner Gregoire,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Will abstain, noting that I was absent for that meeting.
noted. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Commissioner Data,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Hoopengarner,
Yes.
and the minutes for March 3rd, 2022 are approved as presented, and noting Commissioner Lombardi abstaining.
Thank you, David. Moving on to item 6, public comment. Do we have public, David?
Chair, I received no public comments for the general item. I do show several people on the platform that we're going to speak on another item. If any of them would like to make a general comment, please use the raise hand feature if you're on the Zoom platform. If you're calling in, just hit *9 for me. That'll let me know you'd like to make a comment. I do have a few, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Our first comment will be by CB. CB, go ahead. You have 3 minutes. Please state your first and last name and city of residence.
Hi, good evening. Kathy Blavis, City of West Hollywood. I first want to send out my heartfelt prayers to Michael Poles for speedy recovery and to his wife, Linda. I cannot imagine what they are going through. I also want to really thank our chair, Lynn Hoopengarner, for first and foremost requesting the adjournment on behalf of community, but also regardless of Mr. Kehoe's remarks and the tone of contention that I heard, I want to thank Chair Hoopengarner for sticking up for the residents of our city. Outreach at best in our city leaves a lot to be desired. And when things are stated, we did what is necessary, or we did what is required. Sometimes falls on deaf ears because sometimes people, as Ms. Hoopengarner stated, don't get the mail. If something is a really important issue, and it was stated that the people who did not respond are just a few blocks, then perhaps maybe volunteers could be requested to go and knock on every door. So again, my best wishes to Michael Poles and his wife, Linda. And again, thank you Chair Hoopengarner, and thank you to all the commissioners for voting tonight to continue this item. And as you can hear in the background, I am going to also wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next commenter will be from your calling in from the phone number ending in 3143. Go ahead and unmute yourself, *6, and state your first and last name and city of residence. You'll have 3 minutes. Okay, we're going. Oh, here
This is Adam Darvish. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Oh, great. Sorry, I had a hard time to unmute. I am Adam Darvish, the liaison to your commission from Human Services Commission. Just wanted to make a comment on the discussions and the chair that discussed Hoopengarner that discussed the need for taking time to ensure that residents have received notifications. I can assure you that has been a discussion in our commission, and myself as a resident, I question sometimes because mailing has not been very reliable nowadays, and I don't get many. And I, as a commissioner, if I have issues knowing what's happening in the city without logging on and getting on WehoTV.org, I think a lot of our residents have the same issue. So I wanted to commend the chair, Hoopengarner, for bringing that up. And I know you all have discussed this in the past, that is just a minimum requirement to do a mail out. So again, thank you for that discussion tonight. I wanted to appreciate all of you for the great job that you do reviewing the details of the planning projects. I wanted to also share with you, just knowing that our city is going towards cannabis tourism and what that would bring to our city down the road, similar to what's happening in Amsterdam. I'm sure it'll be done in a better way, but if you look at what's happening in Amsterdam today with drugs and sex and crimes, it's really sort of a horrible experience, although that's what they branded themselves after. So again, no doubt with this team, this commission, it will be done in the right way. So again, thank you for the great service to our community and to older adults and disabled population that need your help as far as quality of life and transportation and anything that's affected by new projects that you are reviewing. So I know, and I've heard you in the past to bring those questions up, how would this affect the residents? So thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner, for your comments. Our next speaker will be Stephanie Parker. Stephanie, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, David. Am I unmuted?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Stephanie Harker, City of West Hollywood. SB 9 has been a bone of contention in many cities, and I'm surprised that it never came before this commission, your commission, Planning Commission. Prior to this, as you know, it was, I believe it was voted on last year, sometime late last year, and then it became effective January 1. But I have sent several letters to Mr. Kehoe and to Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Molina was the one who finally responded. And he stated in his letter, because I asked, how did this come about that we became a city that approved this? In September of last year, 2021, 241 cities, that's half the cities in the whole state of California, wrote a letter urging Governor Newsom to veto this item because it really has little to nothing to do with affordability. We do need affordable housing. People building a new unit on their lot that they've been allowed to split will not be renting it out as a Section 8. I can probably almost guarantee that. Not that I'm a fortune teller, but I think the whole bill needs to be looked at. There is several cities suing the state. Now I've heard the state's suing Pasadena because they had passed an ordinance, an emergency ordinance to protect their bungalow communities. And the state decided that wasn't right. So they're suing Pasadena. It's a big mess. I don't think it should go forward in our town until we know exactly how we got to this point. And as to Mr. Kehoe's comments tonight, really, it's very upsetting to hear you say the reason no one responded was because they didn't care. Michael Poles and Linda Poles have lived on Green Acre since 1948. She was born into that area. Her grandmother owned the house across the street. He cares so much that he's now had a heart attack. That's how much he cares. So for someone to say that that's the reason they didn't respond is really absurd. And I'm offended by it. The reason the other two streets, Betty Way and Green Acre, responded was because of dedicated people at the West Hollywood Preservation Alliance, the Poles, Andrea Roof and her husband on Betty Way.
30 seconds.
Thank you. Green Acre was never noticed in the beginning, but thank you again. Thank you, Chair Hoopengarner, and for the rest of you for voting to continue this. And I hope there'll be a full-throated discussion about SB 9 going further than just these three streets. So thank you again and happy St. Patty's Day.
Thank you, Stephanie. Our next caller will be Victor Omolchenko, and he'll be followed by the person calling in with the last four digits of 9541. Go ahead, Victor, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. Victor Omolchenko, a longtime resident of West Hollywood, and I also sit on the board of the West Hollywood Preservation Alliance. And our thoughts are all with Michael Poles and his health as he recovers in Cedars-Sinai and with his wife, Linda. And it's so wonderful to see the public engaged. I looked at the board very quickly, and there were quite a few people. And you know, that happens, and the public will turn out, Mr. Kehoe and staff of the city, if proper noticing to the public and to its affected neighborhoods is done from the get-go. Even I, who like to think I know things, the way the public noticing was done, R1A, R1C, and not even saying in the public noticing that may have appeared in the Beverly Press that this was primarily affecting Betty Way and Green Acre, as well as some parcels on Doheny. Better public outreach. We demand it. And this rush, Commissioner Jones, because it's a state law, what's the rush? I did not find out about this until you forwarded this to the city council upon your recommendation. City staff at your January 20th meeting remarked how it would work with developers to take advantage of the changes SB 9 allows. And as Chair Hoopengarner noted, and I thank you, Chair Hoopengarner, for tabling this until Mr. Poles gets well. As you noted, the rules for enforcing owners to live in a unit after lot splitting are quite amorphous and not really clarified in state law. So you want to hear from us, and then you're going to go back and say it's state law? As Ms. Harker said, we want a full-throated community discussion about what these changes mean, not just to Betty Way and Green Acre and Doheny, but throughout the other parts of the city. What could it mean for the R1B zones? A lot of stuff has been murky. I am really, really upset. I can't understand how you held a January 20th meeting. There was no public comment. Yes, Ms. Hoopengarner mentioned that, well, maybe the public was quietly looking, but the public was not informed. Those people within 500 feet on Betty Way and Green Acre and Doheny Road were to be notified, and they were not. Why not? Where is the lack of communication? What is going on in this city that people, the residents, aren't being told about what's happening on their streets at a time when there's a pandemic and not everybody can get onto these boards? So if you're going to be deferring to
Victor,
state
your 3
law
minutes is
without
up.
any kind of community conversation, it's disgusting. Mr. Kehoe, get your act together in the city community development division. And David Gregoire, I remember your work on the Rent Stabilization Commission. I sometimes do get riled up like I did once at Rent Stabilization. I welcome you to our Planning Commission, but let's improve communication, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Our next caller will be calling from 9541. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and you'll have state your name and city of residence. You'll have 3 minutes. Hi, go ahead. We can hear you.
Hi. It's Andrea Roof calling from West Hollywood. I just want to say thank you also for tabling this issue tonight. For Michael Poles to be in the condition that he's in, it's really sad. He is certainly a leader in helping us understand and that the information as it's coming through. I really just wanted to comment too on the messaging, and that as a resident, you know, the flyers, they always look the same when they arrive, and disseminating what's important and what isn't for each one of our neighborhoods and how it's going to impact us is really important. And unfortunately, I will say that the flyer came, you know, a lot of us don't know what the R1 means and the R1A and what those what they're referencing and how it's going to impact us. So I would like to recommend that in the next communication, if it could be made more clear, I think it would help people really understand the impact to our street in particular. I live on Betty Way. These houses are tiny. I mean, if we're going to argue for turning these tiny lots into larger spaces for more housing, I would argue that, quite frankly, maybe we are the ones living in tiny homes and are better for the environment. Which battle are we going to pick with the state? And how is it that one is taking precedence over another? So I just want to say thanks again for tabling it. My heart is going out to the Poles family today and until he really recovers. And also just want to say thanks again for tabling the issue and think about communicating what is actually being brought to the table for the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And Chair, that is all the public speakers we have under this item.
Thank you, David, and thank you to the public. Item 7, the director's report. Mr. Kehoe.
Thank you, Chair and members of the commission. First, I also want to express my sympathy to Michael Poles. I've known him for many years and wish him only the best. The only update I really have is that the last city council meeting was canceled. You guys may have noticed that due to technical difficulty. And so the housing element was scheduled for that meeting. And so it's been postponed to the March 21st city council meeting. So that's what's coming up on our next agenda. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Are there any questions for our director? Okay, there being none, let's move on to items 8, items from commissioners.
Yeah, I can go. Mr. Rosen, I just want to know, because we did decide to continue the both of the items tonight, is it appropriate for commissioners to be speaking about or responding to any of the comments made by the public?
It's a great question, Vice Chair. I think in commissioner comments, you can sort of briefly mention it, or if you have a note for staff for the next meeting, there shouldn't be a substantive discussion either with staff or with public, but sort of short statements or follow-up in response to the public comment is acceptable.
Great, thank you. With that being said, I don't know if anybody else is going to say this, but I will. Whether or not we approve this CTA, it's state law and it's going to go into effect no matter what. So we can talk about that at our next meeting. But I do want the public to understand, and we very much appreciate you being here. You're a huge part of our decision-making process, but we're free to state our personal opinions, but we are sworn to uphold the law, and that's what the law is right now. So I would just ask that there be some more respectful discourse, understanding the architecture under which we are actually able to consider items. Again, this is something that, we talk about all the time. It applies to a number of items, but I just, want people to understand the framework of our decision-making process here. I also want to give my most sincere hope for speedy recovery and my, most sincere condolences for the stress of Michael Poles and his wife. This is news that I just learned before this meeting, and I'm terribly sorry. We never want to see a member of our community suffering or sick. And I truly hope that he is able to attend the next meeting, even if it's by proxy. And finally, I want to welcome Commissioner Lombardi back. I know you were a little ill, and I just wanted to say we're happy to see your face again. So, and final comment. It's going to be controversial, but I do want to defend staff a little bit. Our staff is pretty incredible. We may not always agree as a community and as a commission, but I got the notice for, you're gonna be able to see it. I got the notice for this. It's going to be impossible to see. Sorry guys, but I did get the notice for it. And I don't live in that neighborhood. So if it made its way to me, and my mail delivery is not super reliable, it's anecdotal, I understand, but I do want to assume the best of staff and, know that they are carrying out their duties when they are doing noticing for these projects. So again, this is state law. I don't know that it, demands door-to-door outreach. So I would like to give staff a break. They work really hard. And there's actually a lot of state laws that we have to, create ZTAs to bring our own law into comportment with them. So again, we'll just ask that we have more respectful discourse with staff and with each other. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lombardi.
Thank you. And thank you, Vice Chair Jones. I appreciate it. It's great to be back. All really great points from everyone today, and I appreciate the community turnout and the discussions that we're having. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to reiterate things that have already been stated, but obviously this is an important thing, and I'm glad that we're already starting this discussion. I also want to say that it was very disheartening to hear about Mr. Poles, and I do wish him a healthy recovery as well as the best for his wife and their family. Really unfortunate to hear about this, and I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lombardi. Any other items from commissioners? Yeah, I just learned about Mr. Poles just shortly before the meeting myself, and we live in I think one of the things I love best about this community is it's a small town. We're a community, and I think I will agree with Commissioner Jones in that that it's important that we have civil discourse and have informed discourse and be the neighborhood that we are. And I wish his family the very, very best and a speedy recovery to Mr. Poles. And let's stay safe out there, folks. If there's no other items from commissioners, item number 9, the consent calendar, there is none. Item 10A, 8920 Sunset Boulevard has been continued to April 7th. Item 10B, the zone text amendment subdivision regulations on R1A and R1C have been continued to April 7th. Item 11, new business, there is none. Item 12, unfinished business, there is none. Item 13, excluded consent calendar, none. Item 14, items from staff, planning managers update. Jennifer, you on deck? No, is it Robin? Okay.
Good evening, commissioners. And I want to also relay my sympathies and support for Mr. Poles for recovery. So just wanted to go over the look ahead real quick. So as the chair mentioned, we have those 2 items that have been continued tonight that will be heard on April 7th. We also have, at least scheduled right now, staff bringing a general plan consistency determination for property acquisition at 617, 621 North Robertson Boulevard. For our subcommittees, the design review subcommittee will be hearing 1201 North Detroit Street, which is the 5-story 48-unit affordable housing project, on March 24th. For the SASE or Sunset Arts and Advertising Subcommittee, that's coming up in April, so nothing this month, but we have scheduled at least now 8590 Sunset Boulevard. And then for the Long Range Planning Projects Subcommittee, at least right now, we have a zone text amendment for the prohibition of new fossil fuel service stations. So that's what's coming up. I also just want to inform this commission that this will actually be my last commission meeting. I am moving on from the city of West Hollywood effective April 1st, but want to say that it's been an ultimate privilege to be in service to this community for almost 6 years, to get to know all of you in this commission and outside of this commission. I've had such a marvelous time at the city, and I hope to keep in touch with you all as I can after my time here at WeHo is up. So thank you so much. That's it.
Okay, that's news. I will be formal and move on to item 15, public comment. David, do we have any more public?
Thank you, Chair. I received no public comments for this item. There are some people on the platform still. If you did not get a chance to speak during our first public comment period, please *9 from me if you're calling in, or use the raise hand feature in Zoom, and we can give you 3 minutes to make a general comment. And Chair, we are all clear for this item.
Okay, then I will move on to item 16, items from commissioners. I was thinking we were going to miss that, but Robin, you threw a monkey into that wrench with your little bon mot. Wow, I'm speechless. I obviously want more details, but I'll leave you to, share that with us at some future time, and say, my gosh, will you be missed? I cannot even begin to express how much you will be missed. I can't thank you enough for your service. I will certainly wish you great success in your next endeavors, and do stay in touch. Look to hear from you as to all the great things you're doing out there. Any other additional commissioner comments? Commissioner Lombardi.
Robin, it's so sad to hear that you're moving on. I just wanted to say, although we haven't worked together for too long, it was absolutely wonderful, starting out this process, and you were there throughout all of it. And I've just really enjoyed working with you and hearing from you. So I just want to send you the best wishes. I do wish you were staying, but best wishes with what's headed your way in the future. And I hope it's all great things.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Vice Chair Jones.
Thank you. I just wanted to tag on here. Robin, you really buried the lead. I will send you an email. I'm very, very sad to hear that you're leaving, but I've just really enjoyed working with you, and obviously wish you all of the best in your future endeavors. I'm very sad that we're losing you. In any case, I won't carry on, but you will be very missed.
Thank you.
Commissioner Thomas.
I'm going to just echo the sentiments of my colleagues. Robin, we're going to be missed, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and I wish you the best on your future endeavors. Also want to say to Commissioner Lombardi, I'm glad to see you back. I want to thank the residents who called in this evening to express their concerns. Always appreciate hearing from the public. And I also want to send out sympathy to Mr. Poles. I have not yet had an opportunity to meet him, but I do wish him the best, and I hope to hear from him soon on this matter.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Dutta.
I too wish for a speedy recovery for Michael Poles. It's very clear how much of a community leader he is. So, look forward to having this discussion when he's able to be back. Welcome back, Commissioner Lombardi. We didn't have a very robust meeting last time, but we still missed your presence. And to Robin, certainly you will be missed. Sometime last year, I was able to, I had the privilege of being able to attend a presentation you did with the Municipal Green Building Expo. And I remember seeing the comments, and all the comments just kept saying Robin is a rock star. And so I'm not surprised that she's going elsewhere, that other people want her to work with them. So you will certainly be missed. And thank you for everything and all the guidance you provided in the less than year I've been here as a commissioner. So thank you.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Well, Robin, everyone has said nice things about you. I'm so sad I haven't had an opportunity to work with you. I guess I came to the commission too late. Well, good luck with your new endeavor. We'll miss you here in the city of West Hollywood. And welcome back, Commissioner Lombardi. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you, Commissioner Gregoire. Commissioner Caballero.
Okay, I'll just repeat everything everybody said. Robin, don't go. Michael Lombardi, welcome back, and get well soon, Michael Poles. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 16B, subcommittee management. I think, Robin, you covered it, unless somebody's got anything to say about not showing up to anything, but who's got anywhere to go these days? Okay, that leaves us to the adjournment. This planning commission is adjourned to the next regularly scheduled meeting on Thursday, April 7th, 2022, beginning at 6:30 p.m. on this same bat time and same bat station. Everyone be safe out there, and happy St. Patrick's Day. We'll see you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Night.